November 1st, All Saints' Day, the Day of the Dead. In Poland, people flock to the graveyards. The city is shut down. They go to remember those who have gone before. This is Powazki Cemetery. It's in western Warsaw in the Wola district, and it is the final resting place of many figures from Polish history, and also of people like you and me. Hundreds of thousands of people are buried here in what is one of the oldest cemeteries in all of Poland. I'm Will Richardson, and this is Poland Daily Travel. Let's investigate further. Thanks for watching. Hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of Poland Daily Travel. This is a little more of a somber episode, but nonetheless, here we are addressing a topic which is familiar to us all. That is death, and that is a cemetery. This is Powazki Cemetery. It was built in 1790. It's the oldest cemetery, and I believe the largest cemetery in Poland. They say there are 1 million souls laid to rest here. 1 million to date. Quite a city of its own. A necropolis in the middle of the metropolis. And indeed, it's restful like a park. And you may have found that for yourself, that when you go to the cemetery, it's often one of the quietest places you can go. And certainly gives you cause to reflect on your life, the life of those who are not with us anymore, and the life of your relatives who are gone, your ancestors, and our collective humanity. That's what the All Saints' Day is all about, November 1st. If you're not Catholic, you may not know about what All Saints' Day represents, but it's a day to celebrate, obviously, the existence and recognition of all the different saints in the Catholic Church. And as I was saying before, it's a day to remember all of the dead. People go with candles and they leave them so on the graves of their relatives or people that they identify with. It could be a famous person. I go every year when I'm in Warsaw, if I am in Warsaw, to put candles by the graves of a couple of my friends at least, and take a moment to reflect on them and our relationship, and that they're not here anymore. At any rate, you will find the whole city is shut down on this day, and all the public transport is given over for free to giving people access, travel access, and so they can go to the various cemeteries, of which there are a number. We have not only Powazki, the oldest cemetery, there is also next to this, adjacent to this, an incredibly beautiful Jewish cemetery. And then there's the small Tartar cemetery as well, not far, just around the corner. Where are we? We're just on the edge of Wola in western Warsaw, just near the big Arcadia shopping center and what they used to call Rondo Babka in the old days. I can't remember the name of it now, but it just seems to slip my mind. But I always knew it as Rondo Babka. And indeed, I lived near here at one point for a short time. At any rate, I think let's give over to some photographs and a little bit of music of the to go with the Powazki Cemetery. And see you after the break. Welcome back. I'm just admiring this gravestone, this, well, it's almost a monument to Prince Lubomirski, who lived from 1786 to 1870. Lubomirski, well, this is a name to reckon with in the history of Poland, and particularly in the history of this cemetery, because in the same year, 1770, that this cemetery was being created on a couple of hectares. It's now close to 30 hectares. There were great fears of infection and plague and sickness that no one understood, that attacked secretly and silently and killed waves of people. At any rate, just to the outside of this cemetery, the Lubomirski family, perhaps his father, I'm not sure, the Grand Marshal Lubomirski of the time, 1770, ordered embankments, what they called embankments, to be built, which were basically fortifications, I suppose, raised earthworks to protect the city, surround the city, both on both sides of the Vistula, to stop and control people coming into the city and see if they were ill. Does any of this sound familiar? I wonder if it does, because it sounds very familiar to me. And let me read, if I can find it, yes, something that Grand Marshal of the Crown Stanislaw Lubomirski said or issued in a statement in October of 1770. Remember, this place was started in November. The plague is spreading in the countries of the Commonwealth and counties, so that even distant, unsafe places can reach what's happening in those I'm translating. Happens in those distant, unsafe places can reach and cause misfortune in the capital. Therefore, these citizens are willing to rescue as much as, wishing to rescue the citizens as much as possible from my Grand Marshal's office, and thinking of their protection as much as possible. I find it would be important to ensure that travelers and merchants arriving from distant places with goods to sell or buy should be inspected and what do you call it, cleaned or disinfected, as we would say today, under our facing the recent pandemic or outbreak of virus that we've been suffering. Anyway, suspected people would be quarantined. Another word, very familiar. Yep. In order to protect the general welfare of the citizens. So nothing's new, folks. And this cemetery was part, one would think, of a desire to clean up and make more sanitary the surroundings of the city and protect the populace from rampant disease. Okay, well, there you go. So thanks to Grand Marshal Lubomirski, we have this place. And I don't know, maybe that's his son, I don't know. It's probably a relative. It was a big family. Anyway, that's Konstanty, Prince Lubomirski. All right, thank you for watching Poland Daily. I am Will Richardson, and I am at Powazki Cemetery, the oldest and I believe the largest cemetery in Poland to date. Thanks for watching.